There's your long introduction to Creative Project 1 Spiel, basic photo corrections. Alright, so at this point you're going to have a picture from home, hopefully, and you're going to tune it up. And so I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. Alright, take a look at this. This will be familiar. Oh wait, look at this first. You have 3 days to complete this project, and I will take over 2 of them. So I'm going to basically run you through what to do for the first couple days with your spiels, and then the 3rd day you're going to just keep tuning it up on your own with the knowledge that you have. Here's our first day. Look at this, read through this. This should look familiar. Okay, where does this look familiar from? Where have you seen this before? We learned this in Photoshop Lesson 2, and we're going to follow it again because we're doing the same things as we did in Photoshop Lesson 2. We're going to tune up a damaged photo. Okay, so look at these sequences of steps, and this is exactly what we're going to do. Alright, so the first step, according to that thing, is duplicating the original image or scan, and then we're going to save it as Creative Project 1 Original, and then we're going to save a copy as Creative Project 1 Working. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Oops. So let's go to Photoshop. Okay, so here's the picture that I have, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go Save As. By the way, this, if you don't have your own picture, you should be using your own family picture. If not, use the one that you scanned, and if not, there's one in the assignments folder under Photoshop Creative, and you can use the same one. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to go to this. We're going to save it in my computer. Okay, you're going to save it in my computer. I'm going to go to my folder with my name on it, B. Miller. I'm going to go to Creative Apps. I'm going to go to Photoshop Creative, and I'm going to save it as, what did we say? Creative Project 1 Original. So we're going to save this, and we're never going to .psd. It's a Photoshop file. Do not save it as a JPEG. Don't choose JPEG. We're going to do it a Photoshop file. If you save it as a JPEG, you're going to lose layers. You're going to lose a lot of your work. So we want to save it as a Photoshop file. Okay. Then we're going to hit save, and then we're going to never touch this one again because we want this as a backup. If we mess something up, we want to be able to go back to this thing and save it. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go File, Save As, and this time we're going to save it as Working. And we're going to save it as version 1 because we're going to have probably a lot of versions as we go. Every day we'll save it as a different version. Okay, so we saved it twice. Once the original, once the actual working version that we're going to use. And let's take a look at what's next. Alright, we're just going to straighten and crop an image, make the resolution appropriate for the way you're going to use it. Alright, we know how to do that already. So we're going to go to Photoshop, and we're going to click on the crop tool. Okay, and if you know the width and height that you want the final thing to be, put that in. If you don't know the width and height that you want it to be, then leave those blank. But everybody has to change the resolution to 300 because we want it to be appropriate for printing. If this is for the web, it would be 72, but since we're going to print these, it's going to be 300. Now, I'm going to crop this and straighten it, okay? And if yours doesn't need to be cropped or straightened, do this anyways because we want to make sure your resolution is 300. So I'm going to click and drag down. I'm going to rotate to get it to be the right size, and then I'm going to crop. I don't want the whole thing. I'm going to crop into the people are the most important part, right? So the people are the important part. So I'm going to get, and by the way, don't worry about mergers, because sometimes mergers, like you might say, hey Mr. Miller, you're doing a border merger there. Well, it's okay. You don't want it if you can avoid it, but sometimes like hands and arms and things like that are okay, because the main thing we want is we want the people, and we want the people to be in the PowerPoint. So you can see my pop right there is in the PowerPoint. My momsy, she's in the PowerPoint. No, I don't call her pop and momsy. Anyway, so there they are. I'm going to hit enter, and so we've straightened it and we've cropped it, and that's a nice close-up with people in the PowerPoint. So I'm going to go File, Save, and save those changes. Okay. All right, let's go to our PowerPoint. Go to the next thing. Okay, really? That's it? That's all we got so far? Alright, so basically, well, I thought there was more than this. Alright, so let's take a look at the straightening and cropping image. All right, repair flaws in the scan of a damaged photos, rips, dust, or stains. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to repair things. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to do next. And this is, by the way, the most time-consuming piece because it's very tedious. So we got to repair things. If you want to go to this website, it'll tell you how to do it. So they'll show you possibly a better way than I'll show you. But you guys know the tools that we have. So for the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this thing. Somebody stapled it. Okay, what tool do you think we ought to use? Kind of think to yourself. I think I'm going to use the spot healing brush tool. I think we can probably do a good job with that tool. Not bad, not bad. This one could probably use a little bit more. There we go. There we go, and there we go. Okay, so we did a good job. We have a few funky things there. Alright, let's see how that looks. Double click on the hand, and we got rid of that. Now, this piece is going to be tricky over here because see how the shirt has lines to it, and see how this has lines to it. So I think the best thing that we could probably do is we're going to probably use the clone stamp tool, and it's going to be important the size of it. Okay, let's see how big we want it. Probably about that big. We're not too big, and we don't want it to be super hard. We probably want it to be pretty fuzzy. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do on this is I'm going to have to follow this line. So I'm going to click right here, and I'm just going to be able to do a little bit at a time. I'm going to click right there, Alt click, and then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag that line. And I've got to follow my line. So I'll do it again. I'll click here. And then I've got to follow that line how it would go. Okay, so you can see I click right here, follow the line how it's going to go, and now I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to fill this piece in. Okay, so then now I'm going to click right here, I'm going to follow this line. Alright, so I'm doing pretty good. At this point I might actually need to brush it. Actually, let's copy from here. We'll make our brush a little bigger now. No, not that big. Okay, we'll make our brush big. We'll click here now, and then we'll try to fill this in. Yeah, so we'll just get some base colors, and we're gonna have to do some painting maybe. See, I'm getting some weird. See, I got that crease there. I don't want that, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna get rid of paint over that crease. There we go. So start Alt click, paint. We'll Alt click, paint. We don't want to paint over what we just did. Alt click. So we're going to just fill this in. We got the crease again that we didn't want. And it looks a little funky. It should be lighter, actually. You can tell it should be a little lighter. I'm going to have to lighten that up later. Click there. So we're going to fill it in. Bear with me. Oh, that was no good. Let's try that again. Alt click. Where'd that come from? Alt click. Get rid of that. Alt click. Alt click. We got a crease that we don't want. There we go. And continuing on. Oh, we got the stinking crease. Okay, so you can see, so it looks better. Doesn't look perfect yet. It's a lot better than it was. Okay, so what we might do is we might continue this crease on. So I'm going to Alt click, or let's make our brush smaller. So we're going to, now that we have this filled in, we're going to Alt click here, and we're going to continue this crease down a little bit. Okay, and let's fix this. So we're going to Alt click here and just drag this just a little bit, get that finished up, and then maybe we'll continue this right there. Oh no. So it doesn't look too bad. We might, at this point, we might go to our tool. We might sample that color. So we're getting that color. You can see it's there. Go to our brush and see. We want a really small. We'll go like a 2 pixel, and then we can kind of brush in right here. We'll finish this up. You can do better than that, but we'll just kind of finish it in like that. All right. So it doesn't look too bad. Okay. So you can see though that this right here is a little blotchy. Where is this thing at? So you can see that's a little blotchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the let's go to the dodge tool, and we're gonna do the. Let's see what happens if we do the midtones. Let's get my brush a little bit bigger. Let's see what happens in here. So we're gonna lighten this. There you go. So we go through and we make it look a little bit more natural. All right, so not bad. Yeah, if you were to look at close, you could tell. I kind of messed up on this thing, by the way. You can tell. I could have done better there, but for the sake of what you're doing. Okay, so we've repaired the rips and things like that. So that's good. So then, oh, actually, what's this? I just saw this over here. This looks kind of funky. What's that? That's obviously something's wrong with that. Let's go to our. Let's try the patch tool. Oh, that was wrong. Let's try over here. Let's go to a good area over here. Drag it over there, and it blends the pixels in. Okay, let's do the same thing here. We got like some sort of little scratch on the photo. Blend it in there. Alright, so now let's double click on the hand. Now we're good. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to make, oh no, I just want to save it as version 1. Tomorrow we'll save it as version 2. Yeah, we'll save that. Okay, so far so good. Alright, I hope you guys all do that, and then tomorrow I'm going to go on with the next piece of it, okay?